Good morning. This is Brian again, the second episode of our trip to England in 2025. Well, today we're going to London, and Adrian and Stephanie are going to be exploring some of the culture of London with stops at the National Portrait Gallery on Trafalgar Square, and then going into Soho and exploring the Camden Market, where I am going to be exploring my routes. I'm going to be taking trains and buses and Ubers to the area in what is now West London, near Heathrow Airport actually, Hounslow, the birthplace of my father, and where my grandparents lived. So I will be making stops in Kingston upon Thames and in what is now known as Felton. And these were all communities within the county of Middlesex, which that name sort of disappeared when it was amalgamated into the Greater London area. Again, this will be a number of firsts. It'll be the first time trying to navigate the train system from Tunbridge, where we are, and finding the right fares. And we discovered that by using an app called Railboard, they were able to offer me what they called split ticketing, where it was cheaper to get two tickets for the same journey and split the journey into different stops. I wouldn't have to deboard the train. I just would scan in with my first ticket and scan out with my second ticket. It's also going to be a first for me ordering my own Ubers and traveling on the transit system and figuring all that out. So I hope you'll join us and we'll have a marvelous day. I'll tell you a little bit about my first impressions of being here in England. Everything is so clean. We've marveled at the polished nature of almost every car we see. The houses are all freshly painted, and flowers everywhere, even though it's been extremely dry this summer and they haven't had rain for a long time. I've also marveled at the signage on the roads is extremely explicit and clear and signed everywhere. You know at all times what the speed limit is you are, how far it is to the next roundabout. It's very well maintained and signed. The driving, people are very civilized in their driving. Stay on the left if you're pokey, and you pass on the right. Of course, on the motorways, it's usually 3 lanes. And as soon as you've passed, then you pull back into the left lane. There didn't seem to be any sign of any road rage or butting in or anything like that. All very civilized. I get the impression, looking around at the maturity of the trees and the bushes and the flowers and everything, that this is an old country that is well established. There's not, in the countryside, there's not much of a notice of newness. And the villages are just like I remember over 20 years ago. They're just the same. Public transit is so easy to use. For the disabled people with difficulties, there are access points everywhere. They're all well signed. There's parking spots everywhere for people with disabilities. So they look as though they really take care of their old and infirm, I guess, if you want to say that, in this country.
reading your father's diary in 1946, Thursday, April 25th, 1946, when you were just over a month old. Margaret's birthday, showery, overcast. D, Dorothy, went to the Tower of London, left me with RB. You, no trouble. Increased RB's food from 3.5 to 4 ounces.
Here we are in Waterloo Station. Certainly a bustling place.
Platform 21 is the 10:00 service to Teddington. Calling at Vauxhall, Queenstown
Saturday morning on a long weekend.
Town, Putney,
Very busy.
Barnes, Mortlake, North Sheen.
Today I'm
Richmond,
heading to Kingston upon Thames.
Twickenham. Please speak to a member of staff if you need further assistance.
I'm now on the train from Waterloo Station to Kingston upon Thames, which was my ancestral birthplace on my father's side. So it'll be interesting. This journey is partially to collect information of family history, and I'm hoping to get to the Kingston Cemetery today, where a number of my ancestors are buried. Unfortunately, at this point, my microphone must have run out of battery, and I don't have any sound in a number of these clips, so I'm going to try to recreate what I was saying as we were traveling along. Arrival in Kingston upon Thames. Kingston is a very bustling city. Around the downtown area, there are pedestrian walkways and whatnot. The traffic is very busy with 3 lanes, mostly on one-way streets. Now we know where the telephone boxes in England have all gone. Taking the local bus to the Kingston Cemetery. I should also add that we have not had to use cash anywhere in our visit so far in the number of days that we've been here. It's all been just using my phone or a credit debit card and scan. It's scanning everywhere, even getting on the local transit bus. You can use your Apple Pay or Google Pay on your phone, and as you get on the bus, you don't have to worry about carrying cash.
So I'm at the Dawson Road bus stop in the direction of Surbiton. Surbiton is where my grandfather was born in 1867, the year of Canada's birth. And I now have an 11-minute walk to the cemetery to check out the graves of my ancestors. So I am in the Kingston upon Thames Cemetery, and I have had no luck in finding my great-great-grandfather John's grave. Well, it's a beautiful cemetery, but I have had no luck in finding my relatives, unfortunately. The office is closed today. There is a map at the gate, and I can see which section they're in. But the sections aren't marked. It's almost impossible. I can't find any. There are very few graves that I was able to find in any of the sections.
I was absolutely knackered after walking around the cemetery in the heat for a couple of hours. So I thought, why not call an Uber? So I pulled out the app, which I had never used before, and called an Uber, and they were there within 2 minutes, and then I was back into downtown Kingston upon Thames.
I'm at Kingston Railway Station, boarding a train for Twickenham and then transferred to Feltham. In Feltham, I'm going to try to Uber to 77 Staines Road.
When I got to Feltham Station, I was not able to get hold of Uber, so I took public transit, and it wasn't long before I was at 77 Staines Road. It was at 77 Staines Road that my grandparents lived from about 1935 to my grandfather's death in 1955.
I'm just about to have supper at Xenia restaurant. The Google reviews are very good. It's quite small, family run, I think. And I'll let you know after.
Well, I set myself up in the restaurant and actually took a 6-minute video about my impression of Hounslow, modern day Hounslow. And I discovered that the mic wasn't working again. So I hope you enjoy me talking with my lips out of sync.
So after Brian made his way to West London, Adrian and I made our way to
Charing Cross.
Charing Cross and Piccadilly Circus.
And Trafalgar Square.
You see the one that's been to London before. It was a beautiful day, and we thought we would check out the National Portrait Gallery.
And the National Gallery, which are both right on Trafalgar Square, which is just a short walk from Charing Cross train station. First, we needed to get a couple of pastries from Pret a Manger.
That's a must.
And sat and just watched the world go by out front of the National Gallery.
I was really shocked to come up and see, oh, there's a London Eye, there's Big Ben, there's a double-decker bus. Like all the London things that you think you're going to see, and wow, there they are.
Yeah. And really awesome in London, and I think maybe across the UK, museums are free. So we were able to go into the National Gallery and the National Portrait Gallery for free, which was exciting.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
The National Gallery was wonderful because we got to see some Impressionists.
Oh, it was amazing. There was like Degas and Van Goghs and Matisses and
Monets and Manets and...
it was so good.
Yeah.
Everywhere we looked, there was just like it was busy. It was like there was a lot of people there, and it was early in the day too, because we must have arrived at about 10 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but it was a Saturday, and a busy Saturday in London with the Notting Hill Carnival on the same day.
yeah, it was good.
But our biggest draw was to go to the National Portrait Gallery because we found out that one of our ancestors was had a portrait in the National Portrait Gallery. Thomas Taylor.
Exciting.
Yeah, so we went on the hunt for the portrait of Thomas Taylor. So Thomas Taylor was an English translator who was the first person to translate into English the complete works of Aristotle and Plato.
Wow.
And it turned out that he was my great grandfather, something like that. and Dad's great-great-great-grandfather. So he has a portrait in the National Portrait Gallery. And unfortunately, we wandered around the whole portrait gallery and did not find his portrait. And when we went to ask at the desk, we found out that they don't have all the portraits out all the time, so it was out, and the collection was in the back somewhere. And if we had more time, we could have contacted and arranged a time to have a go into the back rooms and have a look at the portrait.
Yeah.
We did not know that in advance, so we only had the one day in London.
Yeah, so, after that we made our way down to Hatchard's, which is London's oldest bookshop.
From 1797.
And we're in the corner between the Georgian literature and Victorian literature. I proposed to Adrian.
And it was really exciting! And I might have suspected, so I pulled out a ring, an engagement ring, as a response. Because I had the same idea to propose to Stephanie that day.
It was a wonderful day, and it couldn't have been any more perfect. So yeah, we had a wonderful day in London, and
we did a non-traditional tour of London. We kind of purposely, not super purposely, but we just kind of had things we wanted to do and see in London that weren't the usual hits, like the Tower of London and Buckingham Palace and Big Ben and the London Eye. We could see some of those, as Steph said, from a distance.
yeah.
But we wanted to go to the oldest bookstore in London, the oldest art supply store.
Eat a Yorkshire pudding burrito from the Camden markets.
And also go to the Poetry Pharmacy, which is this quaint little shop above Lush, which I don't really know how to describe it, but
They prescribe you poems for your ailments, and the poems are wrapped up in tiny little pill capsules, and they're sold in jars, and it's just a wonderful place with a lot of queer books and literature and flowers, and it was just a really, really neat experience and a perfect way to end our day in London.
yeah, so you can get a jar for joy or indecision.
Yeah, all kinds of things. It was absolutely wonderful. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
If you like what you see on my videos and would like to travel along with me on my journeys, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel.
What are you eating there?
I'm eating a Yorkshire pudding burrito.
Oh my god.
A lifelong dream has finally arrived.